Welcome to Appointing the Wise, a podcast where we discuss local politics, government, and philosophy so we can be wise and appoint wise men and women to be our representatives in government. All right, welcome to Appointing the Wise. Today we have Morgan Palmer on, running for District 4, or Seat 4 rather, of the Box Elder School District, or the school board.
Yep, the school board.
School board.
Mhm.
All right, perfect. So welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on.
having me. Yes.
Absolutely. And then to start us off, who are you? Where can people find you if they want to learn more or support you?
Great. Okay. I'm Morgan Palmer. I live in Willard, Utah. I'm going for District 4, the Seat 4 of the school board. I did have a Facebook page that I made, and it is Vote for Morgan Palmer District 4. Super easy to find. It's also linked in my personal one if you need to get a hold of me there. I message on everything, on my business and everything. My number is out there. So please message.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. And then let's start with more personal. Who are you and why are you running for the school board?
Okay. So I'm a local business owner. I own 2 businesses here in Box Elder County. So I understand budgeting, planning, accountability, all in a real way. I also am a PTA mom. I've been a PTA mom since my kids have went into school. In the next 4 years, I have 2 children. One child will be in all of the schools in the next 4 years. So that is another reason that I'm running, because these next decisions are directly going to affect me and my family and my children. I serve on the ACYI Community Council. I'm actually the chair of that council. We deal with the trust lands funds, and we deal with the leadership and the teachers and the parents' input on all of that and how and where the money will be spent. I feel like I've done a lot of the back end work, and with the recent things that have happened with the board, I really feel like this is the time that we need to step up. Sometimes it's not necessarily who we want to to run. I am definitely super busy. I own and run the businesses. I'm a mom, but it will directly affect me. So I will be making the best decisions for our children in the future.
Okay, so you talked about experience there particularly. So you had mentioned the ACYI Community Council.
Yeah.
What is that? Why, I guess to get at, why that's helpful experience, I guess.
ACYI's Community Council is a board with the principal of the ACYI, a couple parents, some teachers. We deal with the trust lands funds. It is a fund that the state gives us, and each school gets funds, and so we get to directly determine where we allocate those funds. So this year, which I'm super proud of, our whole team, we did such a good job. Our community council did such a good job, and we worked very well with our principal, Lewis Whitaker. He is great. He's been wonderful. We asked that all the teachers actually came in and presented us with what they would want and what their needs are personally, rather than just spending a ton of money on Chromebooks or giving everybody a fancy TV. We actually asked the teachers, and we got some great feedback, and actually all of our teachers got what they asked for, because there is such a great need in our schools. We just need to hear our teachers out and hear our parents out. And I feel like it's just communication.
So buying what they actually need and want versus hey, we've got money. Everybody's going to get a laptop and that's cool, but that's not what we needed.
Correct.
100%. ACYI, I think I know what that is. That's middle school or something. What does that stand for? What is that the middle school or is that something else?
It's an intermediate school. It's a Delcy Young intermediate school. There is elementary, intermediate, middle, and high school.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's what grades?
This is going to be 6th and 7th grade in ACYI.
Okay.
Yeah. And I currently serve on the Willard PTA board as just the secretary. Our president, Riley Parker, is amazing. She's been great. She did it last year and this year, and she has just led us into success. And so we just voted today, actually, on our next board. So go Jordan Hulsley. She's going to be taking over.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And then PTA, you said for which organization? PTA for?
PTA for both.
I'm
actually in the Willard Elementary, and I'm on the ACYI PTA. With ACY PTA, Megan Godfrey is our PTA president. She is amazing. She's been so good. Sadly, we don't get her next year, but I've taken on a couple of roles that we can help as parents. I've taken on the birthday table. I love to go and support these kids, and every month I go in and we give them a treat on their birthday. It's just rewarding. It lightens up their day. It gives them something else. It's not just a mundane day, which that's my favorite.
Awesome. And then business owner, tell us about your experience in being a business owner and what those businesses are.
Okay, I am the current owner of Palmer Barn Event Center. We own the venue that's in Willard. A lot of our Box Elder people around here have had events there, be it anything, be it weddings, that's what we love to do. But we do bridal showers and baby showers, and we even do celebrations of life to memorialize our loved ones. I plan with them. I do budgets with them. I also know that with my own business, I can't afford, a waterfall and a shed and a roof and all these things. So I know what budget means. It's the things that we want to build towards. My other business is Palmer Plumbing. My husband's a plumber, so he's amazing. He's great. He is in Utah and in Idaho. He does new construction plumbing, remodels, water heater changeouts, all the fancy plumbing pretty much. So we get to do all the fun things with that, but that is also a budgeting thing. We work with their budgets. We work with our own budget. That's why I feel like I'd be a great candidate.
Yeah, right. I'm hearing some good experience here. So what do you know about, so I'm pretty new to this. I think there's a lot of people who are just like, hey, we got to pay attention to the school board now because our taxes keep going up. And we're just like, oh, I got some learning to do. But what do you know about kind of the board, either how things have gone in the past, kind of the current situation of where things are at? And I guess this kind of goes into like why you're running, what need, or where do you see maybe that they're lacking and that you can help with that?
I'm not going to lie. I respect the time and effort it takes to serve on the board. It is definitely not an easy role, especially now that there is such an eye on it. Everybody has their own opinions and the way that they could run it, which is great. We just need a body that is actually going to listen to us and help us do a better job for the future. But I do believe that there is a growing disconnect, and I've heard from a lot of parents, and I felt it the same myself. I feel like there's a real opportunity to improve the communication and rebuild the trust so that people can feel like they're a part of the process, not just hearing about it after the decision was already made. Talking about the Truth and Taxation meeting, I was there, had to leave, watched it on the YouTube, put my comment in. It finally got read at like 11:37 at night. I stayed on the whole time. I feel like the frustration was with the board at that time. I feel like they already had their mind made up. I don't feel like that they listened to 92% of the people that were there.
There was 8% of the people who actually were like, yeah, let's do this thing. Huh?
And that's a guesstimate, truly, honestly. I listened to everybody. But I felt like they already had their speeches made and there are already decisions made. And I don't feel like that they realized that in their speeches, they said that they work for the kids and the school, but in reality, they work for us as taxpayers.
Mm-hmm. Right. And by representing us, they represent the kids, because who else is more concerned about the kids than that their parents?
Exactly.
There's maybe a person on earth.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
There may be poor parents, I guess. Poor, not like money wise, but not good at being parents.
Yeah.
That exist, and that's fair. But other than that, no.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you thought that they kind of had their mind made up. I know that with city council, some of the conversations I've had with, or just like experiences I've had, it seems like, hey, we made this decision forever ago. By the time it comes out to the public, it's like, oh, dude, this is like months or years in the making.
Correct.
And now we finally like, oh, now we get to say something, and it's, oh, you just kind of wanted to check the box, it seems.
Yes. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. What do you have to say?
I've been in a lot of those city council meetings trying to get my business up off the ground. And so I've totally felt that exact same way.
So didn't feel like you were being listened to, hoping to join and make a difference there. Um, I know we're going to go into the budget. That's the big ticket item. Is there anything that you know of other than that that you're aware of? Again, I'm totally ignorant, so this is nice for people who've taken the time to do the research, can help inform us. Is there anything else that you're seeing as far as the school board, good or bad, that you're like, oh, okay, like this is something I'm aware of and I have a strong opinion one way or the other?
There is a lot that everybody has an opinions on. I do feel that there can be better spending. My whole thing is um, I would like to see I would like to have a committee that actually goes and compliance officer kind of thing. Um, I'd like to explore and adding a compliance officer with efficiency. We wouldn't have to raise the taxes. Um, like the goal would be to not to cut just for the sake of cutting, but actually make sure that we were taking a closer look at like the consistencies on how we're using our resources and identifying the inefficiencies, and also to make sure we are properly supporting our areas that actually truly are in need. I believe that that is something that we can prioritize with the existing budget. And I think it's a responsible step towards making sure our taxpayer dollars are actually being used effectively as possible.
So is that, when you say compliance, there's like two ways that my mind goes. There's either like budgeting and making sure money is being spent well, but also just like we have rules that this should be in a class or this shouldn't be in a classroom. And are you talking about both of those things or particularly budget?
Kind of all like a big umbrella kind of thing, making sure that we're not having just wasted money spent on things that if the how do they even say it? I do not know everything, and I will tell you that I'm learning as I go. But I think the hardest thing is you just need the communication aspect. Like these oh my goodness, what is even the word called when these schools roll out this program? If a program isn't successful, or we are just wasting money, if the kids aren't enjoying it, if that's where I want to see if it needs to get cut, if there can be money elsewhere, if there's something else that is in need and these children are needing like the reading support, or we need some more technology support, all of that, like kind of a big umbrella, kind of, I hate to say it, but maybe a Doge.
All
A
right.
little bit of Doge
Now you're talking my
the
language.
school district.
Right. Okay, so some sort of efficiency to just kind of review things. So then if it doesn't get
Yes.
reviewed, sometimes it just like, that's fair.
Just kind of gets swept under the rug, and the money still gets spent on things, even though it's not a necessity.
Right.
I also think that the schools, we need to look at when we're building schools. We don't need as fancy of schools like wall to windows, and looking at the view when we could spend it in bigger classrooms or smaller classrooms, more teachers. I really feel like with this truth and taxation meeting, I really feel that the board, they didn't listen to any of us. And I feel that after talking to many parents and many concerned citizens, that they are actually kind of directing their anger towards the board for sure, but then now they're directing it towards the school board, with the teachers. And we need to be supporting them. They are our backbone, and if it's fun for them, it's fun for the kids. We just need to be supporting our children and our teachers and the district. We just need to communication back.
Okay, and then one of the things that came up in my last interview or the last podcast was kind of talking about some of the legitimate concerns, right? There's I can't remember. There's a law, man. It's not Godwin's law. That's a different one. But the idea is that you shouldn't attribute to malice what can be attributed to like ignorance. And so like, I feel like there are legitimate concerns that the board has, right? There is a legitimate need for money for a good number of things.
Oh, yes.
And then I don't know that there's evidence of this, or I think there's real concerns that we don't know, we being, I guess, me, ignorant person, and other people who just aren't aware of the budgeting. but that it seems likely that there's places that money can be saved, or how necessary is X, Y, or Z. If in my mind, it seems like, what is the goal here, right? What is the goal of public education? And and anything outside of that goal is going to have to be like can't think of the word there, but is going to have to basically be off the table, or secondary. And so, are there things that I guess, first of all, let's go over what is legitimate. What are some of the legitimate concerns, having been at that meeting, that they're saying, hey, we just have to take care of this stuff because it needs to be done?
The last board meeting that I just attended actually was about the maintenance. So that's a huge cost. He actually asked for $3 million. And then he had prioritized it with high demand items, which was like a new roof, or seal coating the parking lot, or the biggest one was Lakeview's bathrooms. That has been a hot topic lately. It is getting fixed next week. Yay! It was on the agenda. It's been approved. And so the Lakeview bathrooms are supposed to be getting fixed over spring break. So those children will now have bathrooms. I mean, that is a high priority. Things that I saw that were not high priority, the maintenance manager asked for, he had some islands in some schools that had weeds in them, and he asked to cement them. Instead of having his maintenance guys spray or weed or however they
spend time doing it.
Yes. And actually, the craziest thing is it was approved with nobody asking anything. He asked for $3 million, but the major stuff and the minor stuff, there's a major, medium, and minor. Major and medium were only $2,100,000 and something thousand, and then he was asking for $995,000 just for minor things. Minor things being cementing islands.
So was it literally that, or was it like a whole bunch of little things?
A whole bunch of little things.
Okay.
Another one was at ACYI. There was a cooling unit that was added, and it didn't have cement under it. So instead of spraying weeds or going out there to do that, he was asking to cement it for aesthetics. Most of it was for aesthetics purposes. But it was just voted on, and they gave him all the money for it. So $3 million they approved. And we do understand that budgets do, he could say the rooftop's going to take $20,000. And by the time he gets to it, they find out that there was a leak. And so the underlaying and
right.
the base. So yeah, there is money to fluctuate from there, but we shouldn't have allocated the money for the minor and aesthetic items. We should have said, no, you can always come back to us. You can always ask for more money. You know what I mean? But right now, let's focus on the things that are major and minor. The aesthetics, maybe let's not focus on that right now, because we are trying to earn back the community's trust. And we are overspending, and we asked for a lot. Maybe let's tighten our budget, show the community that we can gain back their trust, that we are making correct decisions for the budget.
Okay. And this, again, kind of got brought up in my last episode, but been, I guess, focusing on like Dave Ramsey's, Total Money Makeover. Are you familiar with that? Okay, right?
Yeah.
So doing budgets and stuff, is that the kind of mentality that you would take into the school board and be like, hey, right, baby step number 1, we need an emergency fund, baby step 2. Like, is that, I guess, tell me more about that.
That is actually a great system. But when we have a need, we do need to address it. That is how the PTA is ran. We will approve the budget for next year. Just like this year, we pulled the emergency prepared buckets in each classroom, and they had nothing. And so we actually approved the budget we amended the budget and approved it for $1,000. So we can actually fill the buckets back up. And this is in case the school the power went out, or we had some catastrophic thing. But what we need in there is like Band-Aids and food, granola bars, toilet paper, flashlights, things like that. Heated blankets in case it was in the winter and they got stuck in the school. Things like that. I think that you can always amend your budget if the need arises. So being Dave Ramsey, it's put all your money in one basket, don't spend it until you have it. But we also don't know how much each thing is going to cost, but I do believe that that is a great way to look at things.
So what do you think got us to where we are now? Does this, as a taxpayer, this feels like there's something off, and it feels like budgeting. But is there anything that you're aware of that is like, oh yeah, like is this like politics and it's just like nobody's wanted to deal with this and so just kick it down the road? Or is there something else? I guess in order for us to fix it, there's the short term having to solve the problem.
Right.
And then there's how do we avoid coming to this problem again? How do we plan for the future, have our emergency fund, have cash on hand so we don't have to borrow, that kind of stuff. Is there anything you're aware of that you're like, oh yeah, I've identified 3 of those things offhand or whatever it is?
There's nothing directly that I am aware of, but I do know that growth has a huge thing to do with it. I mean, who knew that a starter house was going to cost you over $300,000 right now, right? So there are some things that are out of our control. Costs can rise and lower, and growth can happen overnight. I do feel like they do have a pretty good budget or an idea of the superintendent, actually, Carlson, came out and said that we're going to have about 6,000 new people come into Box Elder County. And I think that was in Box Elder and then in Brigham. And then I think he said another 9,000 out of Tremont because of all the growth. And with those people come children. They need to have the room and space to house these children for the school day, to make it safe, to make it efficient. And I do know that portables, they've been using portables in a lot of schools. Sometimes those are just a temporary fix. I really think that there is a lot that needs to be looked at. I feel like that it is kind of just, and I've heard that we haven't had a tax raise in many years. I don't know that for a fact. I don't remember off the top of my head if that's the case, but I do feel like this huge tax raise, when it was voted on and it was denied by the taxpayers, then the way that the school board went about it and said, no, we need this anyways. I do feel like that was where they've lost the trust. They've lost all that. And granted, we do need help in Lakeview. We do need help. They want to try to build another school. They want to try to, right now they're trying to do bathrooms and bigger locker rooms in the high school, adding classrooms in the high school. They're trying to take 9th grade out of middle school to make it back into 6th and 7th grade.
That sounds like it might have been a mistake.
Yeah.
That might have been a past mistake.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I think that needs to really look into it and see what is the benefit of it. Does the benefits outweigh the cost, or
are we saving money maybe?
Yes, exactly. I think that just needs to look into depth-wise. But it does take a lot of just one person to kind of rattle the cage to start it off. Nobody wants to be that person. So if we can get people in
these
there.
people have to go to Walmart too.
Yes.
I know you.
Yeah, and I'm a small business owner, so please, don't hate me. I'll make your wedding
great. Job.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And so that's where I think that they lost the trust of us as taxpayers. They did it anyways, and I do feel like there needs to be a couple people, like-minded parents, regular Box Elder peeps, and going for the right reasons to actually see where our money is getting spent.
Yeah, and you'd mentioned something there about the growth, which is happening everywhere, I think.
Yes.
And I haven't got an answer on this, but I kind of have a new question that I just thought of is, how much communication, are you aware of how much communication there is between the school board and the any individual community, I guess? Because I know like Brigham City, if we're dealing with a lot of growth, or Tremont's dealing with a lot of growth, if they don't have built-in costs to adding those neighborhoods or whatever it is so that they can actually contribute their portion, to the fund that's going to be,
Yes.
there's kids are going to be benefiting from, then it gets placed, if that's not happening, and then that burden's placed on the taxpayer.
Yep.
And so I don't know that communication's happening. It seems likely that it's not, because when I brought it up in city council, it's kind of like, that's school board's problem. And then the school board's like, oh, that's the city's problem. And then it's like, oh no, it's the taxpayer's problem.
Yep.
And so do you know of any communication, or is that something that you would work on and be like, hey,
100%.
Mayor of Brigham or Willard or Tremont, or we need to have some sort of meeting because it's not going to be pretty.
You're exactly right. I personally don't believe in high density housing. I feel like that does not set our community up for success. I feel like that is just packing us in, and I feel like it takes the privacy away from everybody, that ownership of having property and a lawn and everything like that. But also, what I'm paying in taxes is a lot more than what these people in high density housing are going to pay. But our kids will go to the exact same school. And so I really feel like the burden needs to be on everyone. So then it's not on just some and not on others.
Right. More equality. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. All right. That's fair. And I don't need to go on my rant. Go back and watch any of my other episodes. I'm sure you'll get high density housing in there somewhere. So let's see here. You had mentioned that as part of being a business owner that you've had to make some tough decisions as part of running those businesses. Can you give me like an example of like tough decisions, if we're going to have to make some on the school board, what that looks like in your world?
My tough decisions were dealing with our local community council. That was a rough go for me. Anybody in Willard, I have a lot of supporters. I did have a lot of haters at first, but I think that hopefully people have seen that I've actually brought good things and not.
Are we talking about the Palmer Barn? The
Yes.
Palmer Barn particularly?
Yes, just
people aren't worried about plumbers.
They're not worried about my plumbers. No, they need them. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody was just up in arms at the first, worrying about just really finicky stuff. And I had to go to the city and I had to fight my case and I had to explain why this is just a waste of money, why it doesn't make sense.
Are these like regulations they place upon having the business, or
yes.
What do you mean?
Specifically,
if you don't mind.
Yes. Anybody could go on any of those city council meetings.
Okay, they're public knowledge.
They are
We're good.
Yeah. And I was not nice, but I am friends with all of them now, so it's great. We made up.
Worked out.
Yeah, they realized that I wasn't just an evil person. They realized, they took what I had to say and actually listened. So I was able to open my business eventually, but it took a long time and a lot of fight and a lot of back and forth banter with the city and the city attorney, and it was not fun. One of the major things is they required me to have asphalt parking, and they said that it was in their code that every single business in Willard had asphalt parking. Without going into it or without naming names, I would love if anybody wanted to drive out to Willard and see if any businesses had that. Actually, yes, I would love that. Yeah.
Okay, so that was one thing. You're like, that seems kind of nitpicky and almost like purposefully making it difficult.
That's exactly
That's
right.
interesting. Not related to this, but in the past I've looked at codes and stuff, and it's my understanding that many of them, not all of them, but many of them are, there's a word for it. But basically, I don't know who kind of made the model. I think they're called model codes, maybe something like that. And then basically city's like, oh, great, somebody's already done the work for us. Yep. And they don't like sift through and be like, oh, actually, that's like an infringement on their liberty, or like this is arbitrary, and so might need to go through some of that with the city council or whatever.
And being a smaller town, Willard, they just adopted another code book from a smaller city in their around their capacity.
Okay.
But it's every city code isn't made for each city.
Right. If they would have gone through it and be like, okay, we'll take 90% of this, but all of this crap, like sift through it at least. And it sounds like
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say it didn't happen because I wasn't there, but it
Yeah.
seems likely that it didn't. And, in their defense, that was probably 30 plus years ago.
Yes.
So,
You should see the
but we
book.
can go back
Yes.
and revise that. Turns
Yeah.
out legislators can do that.
Yeah. It was a big, thick book. I actually printed my own, made my own, and went to the meetings
Oh,
because
snap.
there was no way you could see it. There's no way you could access it at any time. So that was a rough one. Sifting through code was mind-numbing. But to get my point across,
How long ago was that?
6 years ago.
Okay, so you didn't have AI to help at all.
None.
It was all you.
Pen and paper,
That's
actually.
good.
Yes.
Back in the good old days,
Oh,
huh?
man. Yeah. What I would have done with AI, they would have loved me.
Yeah, right. Let's see here. On your Facebook page, you state that you believe leadership should focus on results.
Yes.
I guess starting off, what results would you focus on?
Results, meaning with the budget and things that I would want to bring to the board?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Results, I guess. Yeah, I didn't think about that having multiple interpretations.
That's okay.
I guess, measuring, because you're going to want to measure your success or the success of the board or the policies thereof. And so, yeah, what results might you look at? I guess I'll make it a little bit more broad for you. And we'll go with that for now.
My main result or a thing that I would like to fix is the trust with the people. 100%. I also, like I said earlier about the compliance committee, I do believe that the people need to know that we are in compliance. And it's not like kind of a punitive thing. It's not like a going out there and just, are you doing your job? It is trying to find the waste, because there everywhere has waste. There are things even in my business, but I know that in my budget, every single year I go through my budget and I say, oh my gosh, that was not used at all. I am not going to put that money towards that. I'm going to put my money towards something else that's going to be better or will help my business in the long run. So I feel like business-minded people should be in our city councils, in everybody who's working for the city. I feel like if you're using people's money, taxpayers' money, it is not an unlimited fund like they have all been using it as.
Mm-hmm.
We all should have budgets. We should have accountability on everything, and any person, because the board they're working for us as taxpayers. So I am working for you as a taxpayer right now. So if there's a question where you want to know where the money is going, I should be able to find that answer and give it to you. It should be transparency is the key. So I just feel like there's a lot of things that need to get fixed in that, but definitely that number one, and then go through the compliancy. Another thing that is near and dear to my heart is dress code. That to me, I'm a conservative mom. I want to protect our children as much as possible. And so I think that there's an opportunity to bring more consistency and accountability to dress code expectations, not in a harsh or punitive way by any means, but in a way that helps create a respectful and focused learning. Clear expectations will actually help kids feel prepared and set a standard for them to support success and in both school and in their future and beyond. I do feel like that is something that is just near and dear to my heart. So I would like to truly do that. That's actually one of the things that a lot of the parents have come to me and asked me about. They've been having issues at the intermediate schools, but they said the middle school is the harshest. And so I think that would be it.
So dress code, I was a teacher for a while, and I know my mind's going to multiple places,
Yeah.
but as far as dress code, is that just like clean kept? Is that like modesty stuff, like, showing skin stuff? Is it all of the above?
It's all the above.
They just look like a bunch of little schlobs running around and have no respect for no one, little punks.
Exactly. I know. And in our lives, in our daily lives, you know what I mean? The way you present yourself is the way you're gonna get respected, or it's gonna get what you give. What you give and what you present is what you're gonna get in return. And that may be like, I don't even know what the word is. But
old-fashioned.
Yes, I feel like that could be old-fashioned, but
Yeah.
I do believe that it is in the book. It is in the handbook.
It's part of the rules. If it's going to be the rules,
then we have to
enforce them or don't. Right? That's a part. I think an issue everywhere in the U.S. right
I
now
think
is
that's
if
exactly.
you're gonna have the rule, enforce it. If it
Yep.
shouldn't be a rule, then make it not a rule.
Yes.
But there is at least a minimum standard there, right?
Yes. And I just feel like the people who push it, they'll push it and push it and push it. And so that's why we have rules in the first place. That's why you can't speed. That's why you can't jaywalk. That's why you can't kill somebody. There are rules, and we have become a society. And that is one of the major things I think that we will set our children up for success if you teach them how to present. We teach them how to debate. We teach them how to interview. We teach them all of that other stuff. But why aren't we teaching them their outward appearance
Right.
is what you're going to get back. And I go to the schools a lot. I'm at the schools at least 4 times a week. Every single week. I was there today. I see it everywhere. It's not the fact that I want to be malicious in that intent. I just feel like that it is a distraction for some. And I feel like that is not setting the kids up for success. And I don't feel like it's the kids are getting distracted by these outfits or lack of an outfit or the wording on it or anything like that. I feel like that is just I don't want to go to uniforms, by the way. I don't want to do that. I just
I'm
want
alright with
a
that.
respectful. Yeah. No.
That makes it easier.
No. Yes. Yeah. I just.
Although
It's
with that,
respectful.
there's the issue of, like you said, enforcement, and when you've not had to do it for so long, it feels like your liberties are being taken from you. And I don't know, they're kids, like I don't know, but
Yeah.
but I know that they're not going to feel happy about that. But at the same time, like you have to have buy-in from everybody. If everybody's not doing it,
Yeah.
then it's.
I just feel like
Then
that's communication.
little Danny boy over there, dresses like a putz, and so why can he dress like that, and I have to, you're yelling at the wrong guy,
Exactly.
so you have to
Yeah.
figure that out. But good luck with that.
Right? I know.
You
And
go
we all
fight that
know.
fight. I'll be right there behind
Yes,
you.
I know. We all know, like, our kids learn from school. They learn from their peers. They learn the things sometimes you do not want them to learn. And it is called life. But we can set them up for success if we can just make it clear. Make it clear. Sorry, this is how it's been for X amount of years. It's in the dress code. Start by next year. Start fresh, clean. Post it. Put it in the like it is in the handbook, but reiterate it to children. And then when somebody does have an issue, or we do have an issue, treat it with kindness, and just be like, I'm sorry, you just can't come to school naked. I mean, that's kind of a rule, you know what I mean? You can't speed down the highway as fast as you can. You can't be standing in front of a car and driving off. There are rules, and it's meant for your safety and everybody around you.
Gotcha. And then as far as talking about leadership and results, I guess going back to the board, trying to get more information about how they've been doing. Do you have anything to say about that as far as how they've been doing?
I have been attending their meetings. I do feel like they listen. I do feel like they are listening to everybody. I mean, there is some people in there, and they come up, and every time you get a public comment. So if anybody needs to know, you can go to these meetings and you can do a comment right at the first. That is just a comment. They will reiterate, they'll go into it later, or you can actually meet with a school board member directly, and they can help you with that too. I feel like they have been doing the best job that they can. I feel like that at this point, with all of this backlash, I don't know. I think it's a hard job. It's a hard job.
Is there anything else besides, so we've talked primarily about the budget. Is there anything else that's kind of come across your radar, again, good or bad, as far as those meetings go? You're like, oh, that's interesting that they're, moving in this direction or choosing not to go this direction.
So our vice president, or I think it's vice superintendent, he actually was rolling out something for our people who wanted to get their GEDs instead of their diplomas. And it used to be where you had to, if you chose the option of getting your GED and going to Sunrise, or just getting your GED, there was no way you could come back. At the meeting the last month, they they said that there's a new program, and if they want to work their little tails off and get their credits, that they can actually come back and decide if like the GED part wasn't worth it for them, that they wanted to come up and actually get a diploma to where they could set themselves up for college
Mm-hmm.
and a future job and things like that, in case people needed more time to think about it. Because let's be honest, with Facebook and everything like this, our kids' minds are mush.
Mm-hmm.
They are. It's a hard thing out here with all the stimulation and all the things that are going on, and you have all the information at the touch of a fingertip. Um, and so to make the decision and to evolve and to grow up, I feel like we're gonna make issues, and bad decisions along the way. And I feel like if as long as there's a way to come back, then I feel like
Right.
it's
Leave the
better.
door open, even
Yeah,
if it's like 3 kids who walk through that
100%.
door, at least they've
Oh
got the
my gosh,
option.
yes. Yeah.
And, in their defense, I don't know that my generation or generations before me, brains weren't much more or less mush than they are now. So
Well,
just a
that's good.
different kind of mush.
Yeah, yeah. Going outside playing with dirt instead of on the phones, right?
Yeah, yeah. But me and my friends, we made some stupid decisions and we didn't have Facebook as much. So,
Yes. Yeah,
but
but now everybody has a camera. So
yeah,
those
that's true.
decisions are
Yeah.
getting videoed.
I had to record it and I had to put it out there if I wanted to.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that
And
can
so
definitely say,
all
yeah.
of their bad decisions are at a touch of a button. And if they go viral or anything, it's going to make or break who you are as a person. But it doesn't have to. You can always come back.
Right. Absolutely. All right. I don't have a lot of other questions, but are there other concerns that you have about the state of education in our schools here in Box Elder?
That's something that I'm going to have to dive a little bit more deep into.
Mhm.
I being on the community council at ACUA, I was learning about what they were teaching and the spectrum behind it and why they were doing it this way and why they were doing it this way. Some kids are hands-on. Some kids like to read it and they're more mental. Some people are different learners. And so I've been learning a lot about that. And so I think that I just I want to go through and learn it all. And if I was to get in, I have 4 years to at least try to learn as much as I possibly can, to see what is working and what isn't.
Hmm. Anything as a parent that you've seen as far as your kids go?
I know what my kids how they learn, which is a great thing. I've learned a lot about the showing up. That is another thing. Our parent involvement at our schools is at an all-time low. Being a PTA and on the community council, um, everybody has an opinion on the school board and our taxes and everything like that. But please, please put your money where your mouth is. I would love it if people could come in and say, hey, I would love to see how this works. I would love to volunteer for this. I would love to do this because these kids, they love seeing familiar faces. They love to see people who care about them. And if you are just coming in, and just showing your support, I mean, it can make a world of difference with all the children.
So you're pretty involved, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, how would you recommend somebody start that? I've got kids, my wife. I don't know. I think a lot of it, even with like talking with people in city council and stuff,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know where to start and really don't have an idea of what it would look like and how easy it actually could be if it was just like, I don't know, once a month you show up to read with kids or something like that. Is there
Yeah.
what experience do you have there that might be helpful for people who are wanting to get involved so that they're not part
It's
of the problem?
it's PTA, and I know it might be a swear word to some people, but honestly, that is where I know you don't have to bring goodies, you don't have to do a bake sale, you will not be in charge of anything. But you go to the back to school night, and there's always a PTA table there. Join the PTA. Join the PTA. We have a app. It's called GroupMe, and we have a PTA discussion on there. It'll list all the activities. It'll list all of the things that are going on in the school with dates, because a lot of parents are like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was then. I didn't know
Mm,
that," because communication is key. We do need to be putting it on our Facebooks, on the uh, school Facebooks and all the things. But I know that the school board doesn't want to text it out every time because parents already get enough emails and texts about everything else.
Those should get put in the junk.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So if you're
I don't
on
know.
the
This
PTA,
doesn't look important.
yes. But the thing is if you're on the PTA, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do a thing unless you want to. I just had a meeting today.
Being part of the PTA helps you be in part of the communication link that you're like, oh, that actually sounds interesting. I'll go do that thing.
Yes.
They're going to the zoo for a field trip. I get to go to the zoo now.
Yep.
I don't know.
I just did the Treehouse Museum with my first grader and he loved it. And I was in charge of that. And so we did the Treehouse and the PTA shows you how much it's going to cost for that. The PTA actually is the one who does these field trips. So we did the field trip to the Treehouse, and the Treehouse gives us a deal per kid, but we also have to pay for the busing systems because that is a separate cost. The district shouldn't have to pay for that. So we as a PTA will pay for that. So our kids can have that experience.
Is that not part of the education? Is that not a priority? Or I'm okay with that if there's extra adding on. But if that's part of the if that's actually educational, if it's just fun, then I get that.
Yeah, well, we try to make it educational, and that's why it's on the PTA.
Yeah.
The parents want to be involved, and so we want to do the fun stuff. Let's be honest.
Right.
We don't want to be doing the monograms and all those things. We don't want to do that. So we want to go up and show up for the fun things, the fundraisers when they have Santa Claus come. I just went to the ACYI field trip. That was at the movie theater at Walker Cinema. Okay. And we paid for the busing system, and Walker Cinema donates the movie, and then they just get the concessions. And as a parent, they ask the parents from the PTA to come and help sell concessions. So can you imagine a madhouse of 400 kids asking for red cream soda, a large popcorn, and some goobers? I mean, goodness sakes.
It's good. But the kids, I'm sure, had a blast.
A blast. And that is why, and that's the fun things. And that's where I feel like it starts there. And then the teachers, you'll get to know the teachers. If you're on the PTA, if the teachers need anything, they'll reach out to the PTA to ask for parents. In elementary and intermediate, or in elementaries, there's the school parties. We've had a terrible outcome with that. Parents just aren't coming and doing the class parties. We only do 2 parties a year, and then we do some teacher appreciation things.
What do you mean class parties? What does that actually look like? Is that just after school? Or
no, it's during school, and it's like a Christmas party or Halloween party. So when they come in and dressed up for school, we'll do a Halloween party where there'll be like 5 parents, and one will have like a tic-tac-toe.
Oh, okay, like a carnival
candy
type
corn
thing.
toss.
Okay.
And things like that. And it's just for your individual class.
Oh, okay.
And so you're in there knowing all of the kids who are in your kids' class.
Right.
You're getting to know the parents. You're getting to know the teacher. The teacher will show you, and you can see how they are teaching your kids, and you'll get to know them like that. You just have to be involved, and being involved is the biggest thing. PTA meets after school. It's not always during school. So if you can't make it, totally, we understand. There's also, we always do links like, what's the link? What do you do with FaceTime on computer? I can't remember. Zoom? Zooms. I do FaceTimes.
Okay.
So they do Zoom meetings. They meet at the library. ACYI does. Other ones will meet at the school. So that's another way you can get involved in that. Just to listen and hear about it. But you could do it on your own time. You could be sitting at home in your lounge chair. But as long as you're on the PTA board, or not on the board, but in the PTA GroupMe app, that's just, you can stay silent. You can just see what's going on and click the link and watch. And you can see what's going on. And that's with everything.
Okay. I appreciate that. That's good to know. As you were speaking, I was like, I wonder how much the lack of involvement is higher cost inflation, mom and dad have to work more kind of a thing. And so
100%.
I guess lower taxes could help with that. I don't know. Yeah. There might be a little feedback loop there, but that's helpful. I think that there are probably a lot of people that can help, and they just don't know where to start. So I appreciate that. Anything else that you wanted to discuss before we finish?
I don't know. This is all new to me. So I'm definitely just not a politician. I'm just a mom and a business owner. And I just feel like there just needs to be more communication and people who care about this community to make it better. I've met a lot of the candidates on all of them. And I feel like that is kind of the basis of why everybody's running. So it's really good. You just got to weed out the goods and the bads, and hopefully you'll contact me with all your questions and I can learn more about it as you ask me. I just want to be acknowledged in all of this. I want to make it better for my children because it directly affects me and their future, and that's why I'm here.
Perfect. Okay, well, I appreciate you being on the show. Thanks so much for your time and good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening. You can find more information on our Facebook page. And if you found this helpful, please leave a like and a comment. Remember, get informed, get involved, and turn to the Lord in all things. Cheers.